Hi, how are you this morning? So a few people to filter in. Zoom is not allowing me to, shock horror, Zoom is not allowing me to go live on the, let's have a little look. Oh, hang on a sec. Let's have a look, waiting. It's bonkers. The tech has gone slightly bonkers here, so let me just come in here. Someone's gone into the other one, so I'm going to and this one. Hi there, who's there? So say hi if you are here live, and also if you're here on catch up later. We're doing 2 today, and I'm generally quite good at tech. In all honesty, I'm pretty good, and yet completely pulls this up. So bear with me, I'm just going, let's have a look. Okay, let me just is that today? When did they join? That was hours ago. That's fine. You can't get in Zoom. Oh right, yeah. Right, there is no password. Right, let's have a look. Do you know what we're going to do? Here we go. So we're going to start this alternate. Hello, Leanne. Hello, Lynn. Open Zoom. Right, okay. Guys, to go over to Zoom. Okay. I genuinely am really good at tech. Just log into Zoom, okay? The meeting ID is 263. Let's have a look. 263-154-6374. There is no password for it because I thought I'd make it easier. All that's done is make it impossible to live stream. So whoever wants to come in there. Whoever's watching this on catch up. Yeah, genuinely, I do so much on Zoom. I've been doing it for years. So if you want to go into Zoom, that'd be cool. Stay here if you want. How are you finding that, Lynn? You getting through? 263, will I type it here? 263, 154, there's Lynn there. There we go, admit Lynn. So I'm still going to do it on Facebook Live as well. So Lynn's going to have the pleasure of me twice. There you go. Hi Lynn, great you're there as well. Honestly, you'd think I'd never done tech before. I spent my life on Zoom. Right, there's also another... Corey was coming in, so let me just make sure there's no one else. This is going to be a quieter one. Are you coming in on Zoom? Resume. Right now, Eliane, are you staying there or are you coming in? Let me see. It's 263-154-6374 if you want to do it. Because for whatever reason, no, continue. I want to keep broadcasting. Right, it hasn't done it. Right, marvellous. So yeah, just so you know, I am actually quite good at tech, except here. Anyway, cool. So pop that there. Right. Oh, cool. So the good thing is it's gonna be quite quiet on the 11 o'clock one. Everyone's got other things to do. God knows why. So it will mean that if you've ever worked with me, you've been on some of my lives, haven't you, Lynn? But I'm quite I go in the moment quite a bit, so it will depend who's on, depending on what's coming. Obviously, the same things I'll talk about the same things, but depending on what comes up. So just freely type as well, Leanne. Okay. So it's really good. Getting feedback's really cool as well. So I shall start, but anybody on catch up, just write your comments as well. Let's have a look. Anyone's there? No, that's cool. All right, super. Just for the benefit of those who don't really know me, and for the benefit of those who do know me, you can just relive this a little bit. So I am, Lucy. So I help people basically get over their shit. That's just basically what I do. They have some stuff they can't get over, and then I help them get over it. Mainly because I've been there. I've been in. I've had an eating disorder when I was younger, to the point of like death, not actual death, but nearly dying. Oh, there we go. But not only that, then I struggled with food for some time and how to eat healthily. So went from one extreme to the other. because it isn't about food, it's about control. So when I got my eating and exercise under control, hey presto, I ended up getting into one after the other relationships that were pretty bad for me. The good thing is I had a couple of amazing kids out of them, but it does mean but then old things rear their heads, and it became a real control issue. And then I struggled with how to be a parent in that position as well. So I've kind of gone through a huge amount of trying to figure out how the hell to have safe relationships with food, with parents, with my siblings, with my friends, all the time feeling like I'm fighting myself. So I went and sorted it out. In all honesty, I did the hard work, and not only that, I then, because of it changed my life. Well, I still got divorced, probably good for a good. But I married a narcissist, so what do you do? But I was able, and what's beautiful about that is that I'm able to have, bearing in mind, police were, about a year ago, we had police involved. It was awful. A lot of fear going through the whole family. I'm able to have a relationship with him in order for so the children don't suffer. So you kind of go full circle that it's not this awful toxicity anymore, because to get that out of any relationship means you can have anything you want, but you have to be able to know where you stand, and it really is nothing to do with anyone else. So it's not the evil chocolate or the evil narcissistic husbands or your kids being horrible or your friends not understanding you or the world being shit. It really isn't anything to do with any of those things. It is to do with how we view it, and who we are. And if anyone has come in hoping that I'm going to give them ways in which to talk to people to get them to understand you, I'm just not. I'm not going to give you really clever NLP ways, because that's what everyone else is doing out there. Everyone else is trying to use very clever language in order to get us to do what they want us to do in any way. Doctors do it, when they want us to take drugs, or the government's doing it. Everyone's doing it. Teachers do it. Everyone uses ways. And although I'm trained in NLP and I could get you to coerce people, do you know what? I don't really want to do that, and I don't think that's the right way to be. So I believe in utter honesty, and so I have had huge amounts of training, but a lot of where I'm coming from is a passion to get people to actually embrace their own world and embrace their own life. And so with that in mind, you're here for a reason. And I don't actually know. Leanne's probably here because she thinks I'm great. So Leanne might be here because that's possibly why you're here. But it might be that you feel that you might get something out of it. So what I'd like to do is, everything is about intention. It's just because you love me. That's great, Leanne. Okay, cool. Well, you're going to do this too because you're here. So I really want you to, if you've got a pen and paper handy, I want you to put your hand on your heart. Okay. And I want you to just imagine yourself at the end of the day. So you might even come back later on. So actually imagine yourself this time tomorrow, whatever reason you've come here for, whatever reason you're here, whatever's brought you here today, there'll be a reason. Okay, so I want you to feel, so whatever's sticking for you, whatever you're struggling with, I want you to feel how it would feel not to feel that struggle. And I want you to just picture yourself this time tomorrow feeling better about it. I genuinely want you to see yourself in the future. So write down the date. If it's not tomorrow, if that's not doable for you, even if it's in an hour, if it's next week, write down a date when you can see yourself feeling better about this. It's really important. So that date, and how does it feel? And feel free to let me know what you're doing. If you can type, and it's typing and emotion isn't always easy, but visualize yourself in that space feeling better about how you feel with food, how you're dealing with it, whether you're struggling with your relationship with friends, family, whatever it might be, whether you're getting so angry at your kids all the time, whatever it is, just want you to see that being better. I want you to see that improved, see how it feels to actually have a healthy moment, and just see how that feels. and write down how that feels, how good that feels, how much freer you feel not having this sort of angst, this bringing you down of it all. Because if you can feel it now, you can feel it. Okay, so whenever I do anything at all, it's all about the intention at the end of it. Otherwise, what's the point? But knowing how it feels to be free of it means it's possible. Because if you can just imagine how that would feel, it's possible. If you've ever felt good about anything, it's possible. You can feel good about everything in the world. It comes down to a choice. Okay, so with that, hopefully you've got a date. You've got how that feels. It might be later on. It might be just tomorrow morning. Okay, so now you know it's possible. Whatever you want, now you know. Okay, so now it's just the rest is just action. Okay, so with everything, like manifesting is fantastic. Manifesting always makes me laugh because manifesting is like, yeah, I've got these amazing dreams. I'm going to sit back and wait for the universe to just lay it on me. And like it will lay it on you, but you've got to do something, you know. And half of manifesting is actually getting in tune with what you need to do. So action is required. So now you've got your intention and you know you can get what you want. You just know you can. You've seen it, you've felt it, it's there. It's in your future somewhere. So what is stopping us? There's three big things. Now the first one is what we believe. Okay, and our beliefs rule everything. Some beliefs, now depending on your own personal and spiritual beliefs and whatnot, will depend on whether you believe they can come from before this life or not. I personally do. I think it has a huge effect, and the reason I think it does is because I've been to my past lives, fixed stuff and moved on. So that's how I know, because I didn't used to think that. I used to think that was a little bit far-fetched. Type what you're saying. To be fair, Lynn.
Can I ask a quick question?
You can.
Is it all right to talk, or do you want me to
Do you know
try?
what? You can actually, because it's quite quiet. Yes, you can. As long as you don't mind, it will be... It's being...
No, that's
okay,
fine.
Cool.
Do you do past life regression?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I do past life.
Because I know that I made a decision in a past life that I would never be hungry again.
You said this, yeah.
Yeah.
I do past life, and I love it so much.
Okay. That's cool. Thank you. I'll shut up because I know.
No, don't shut up. But yes, I do. That's why I mentioned it, because I can help. I would never say, yeah, go and get hypnosis. I don't know who can do that for you, but you know, someone can. That would be, unless I know someone who can actually do it. If it's not me or someone else I know, I probably wouldn't say to go and do something.
No.
I do. I do it through EFT and matrix re-imprinting, through past lives. Phenomenal. I only know it because I used to get very... the first time I went to a course, because one of my clients kept going randomly into past lives. I'm like, whoa. And it was really bizarre. And I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, what do I do with that? Because how you deal with it when it's this life, I do this life regression with EFT, or with matrix, is, you know, do it all every day. But I didn't know how to deal with it in a past life. Can you fix it? Do you change the outcome? What do you do? And so I went on this amazing course with them, and then she said, does anybody feel like they were just born into this world? So we're going on slightly off on a detour, but you get it means that this is why I quite like doing workshops. They're interactive. So I was like, yeah, do you know what? I've always felt like I had to supervise things, otherwise people would suffer. I was like, where did that come from? But I was like, if I ever left my kids even with my husband, I would always have to check in. I'd always have to make sure that something's being done. And I have this, oh my goodness, without me, it's all going to go wrong. Yeah. And I don't even know why. Like, I'm not even that responsible, you know? Like, I'm not even the best person to be in charge. So why do I even feel that? But I had a shop, and if I even left it with my mum, oh my gosh, she's going to get it wrong, she's going to struggle, oh my goodness. When I had a baby, I went back to work because they're never going to run the shop, they're never going to run my business like me. You know, who cares? I've got a baby, you know. You think, oh my God, now I'm like, what did I do that for? That was nuts. Like, anyone can make coffee. See? And if they can't, geez, you know, I'll give it myself. But I went back to work, 3-week-old baby in my pouch, serving coffee, getting shoes, because no one else could do that job. Anyway, so I think I'd come into this world thinking that if it's my responsibility, it is all mine, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it went back. she said, okay, breathe that in, and boom, straight back. In the South America, I'm a little boy, 11-year-old boy, keeping watch. My town is about to come under attack. And because I saved a little boy from an alligator, don't know, seriously, I never knew whether I'd saved somebody's life. So they said to reward me and this little boy, I had to keep watch for the town. But I was the only one they put in that role. So all of a sudden, this little poor 11-year-old boy is sat there, who is me, no choice but to literally the whole weight of the town is on his shoulders. I'm like, well, no wonder I've carried that through. Like, yeah. And then that was kind of the life of this person, was to watch, lived and died there. Never asked for help, which I never did either. I never used to ask for help. And it was like, oh my goodness. And another past life came up, all about bread. Because I had a real problem with bread. Now I know why, and I've sorted it, and that's fine. But he even wanted to save the previous life. He even thought, oh, I need to go and save her as well. I'm like, no, you don't need to save everyone. That isn't your job. Your job is not to be everything to everyone. And so we were able to work out with this little boy what he needed. He says, I just want to go and play football. Like, all my mates are down there, you know, with probably a dead sheep's stomach or something, playing football. They're just playing. And yet he couldn't even be the person he wanted to be because of this weight of responsibility. And bear in mind, I used to get very bad back. I used to be always under this pressure of this weight, and I could never lose weight either. So literally sorted that out. We worked on we gave him some support, we helped him, because it's never about the event, it's never about that. What it is he made that mean that was it. His life forever would be always looking for everybody else, never looking out for himself. That's what he made that mean. So we had to change that in order to change my life. And we did. In that moment, changed everything. And that night, I didn't phone home to check on my kids. I was away for the weekend doing a course, didn't even check, because do you know what? They're probably fine. Never have I done that in my life before. So the power of it is huge.
Amazing.
It is amazing. And I've gone back to quite a few lives. Sales, where I was, and most of my lives, really strangely, including this one, nearly died. I died in most of my lives about 13. He died at 13. The girl he was trying to save was 13. Another one, and I nearly died in this life at 13. So it shows you patterns happen. I've been burnt at a stake. But you don't kind of go into it, and the way that I do it and the way that we're trained to do, you don't go into it with the full emotion of that past life. You go into it.
You're an observer, yeah.
Yeah, you have to. But it's the same as this life. So a big thing. I mean, from you talk to someone who's had so much therapy, it's exhausting, and I thought I dealt with it all, which I hadn't, because you just repeat yourself enough, you become numb, because you're re-traumatizing every time you talk about something traumatic. And so what I do is we do something very, very different. We go back and we're still the observer in this life. So you go and talk to yourself. You don't become yourself, because you have, because it's all, otherwise you become the you're viewing everything from the perception of whatever age you've gone back to, you become that person again, and you're not that person anymore.
In my experience, I've observed past lives as an observer through meditation. Yeah. And I've seen 3, maybe 4, and they're fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Yeah. For example, I won't bore anyone else who's listening, but I've loved swimming all my life. Yeah. But I've always been nervous of the sea. Oh, okay. And so wanted to swim, I would prefer to swim in a pool than the sea. But I would go in the sea, but it's a foot down, checking that the ground is beneath me. And in a past life, I drowned at sea. Oh. So it was like, wow. So that's why I've always had this great respect of the sea. It was just fascinating, the things that, I've come up.
Yeah, and it's, but we can alter the outcomes of things in past lives, because we can shift the timelines, and we can shift things so that we don't carry it on. So it's really cool. But yeah, so our stories, our beliefs come from everywhere. So in order to shift how we deal with things, we do need to shift our beliefs. There's loads of ways to do that. And I do it because I'll be very, very honest. I'm doing these workshops because I really want to help people. And I've got amazing ways of doing it. So I do as much free workshop as I can. I'm starting more and more free workshops because I've really seen more and more people just grow from working with me, and I love it. And then I do have options to work with me in different ways. So I have like group options, which is just the best. And I have one-to-one when it's really, really, really tough. So I'll tell you that at the end. So if you wanted to do that, but if not, I'll always be doing free stuff because I think it's really important. When we do shift the beliefs, like I've just given you an example with weight again, really quickly, I couldn't lose weight. I became allergic to everything because of the environment with my husband I was in. He used to cook a lot. We've got to remember that environment is also what we're consuming. We're consuming everything. What we see, what we eat, what we do, how we let people talk to us. Everything is consumption. And remember that our skin and every single fibre of our skin, that is also receptors for our body. So if we're feeling it, and we're emotional beings, empaths as well, will feel it, and their skin, you feel like you know an energy's there and you are consuming it, and you've got to understand that that's what's happening. So when I was in a very toxic relationship, my body thought I was being poisoned. So every time my husband cooked, I'd be sick because it thought he's poisoning you in one way. My body couldn't differentiate. So I became allergic to pretty much, Leanne will vouch for this, pretty much everything. I couldn't eat, I could hardly eat anything. It was nuts. And yet I couldn't lose weight because also my brain had stored, every time I'd been a size 10, I'd been really sad. So, okay, we'll just not go there then. So I was hardly eating anything, exercising every day, could not get low until I shifted that belief. Then I dropped down to a size 10 in about 3 weeks because my body knew that it didn't need to hold on to it anymore. And a lot of weight is stored protection. So when it comes to weight, we're storing the protective. It's like wrapping ourselves in bubble wrap. Have you ever heard that? You know, I want to wrap you in bubble wrap. Well, that's pretty much what you've just done, is wrapped yourself in bubble wrap when it comes to weight. And depending on where the weight is dispersed, will be where you need to protect. So women, it's always going to be around our sexual organs or emotional organ. That's where we hold our emotion, with our nurturing emotion as well. So whether we have been mothers or aren't mothers, it doesn't, at some point we probably would have been, but it doesn't matter. They are what our body is protecting as our nurturer vibe. So if we shut that down, that can be another thing as well. So our stories are massive, huge, but they're only one part of the puzzle. The next is acceptance and forgiveness, which I think can be the hardest things to do, because you can go back and you can forgive yourself. Absolutely. Do you know what? You can say, okay, I made that decision when I was 3. I'm going to cut myself some slack. I probably shouldn't. Absolutely hate jam because someone made me eat a jam sandwich when I was 3. I'm probably not going to hate jam. It's not jam's fault. Okay, 3-year-old me, I shall accept the fact that you made the decision to hate jam. I'm going to go with that. Okay, what is harder is to forgive somebody who's been mean. To forgive somebody. And when I say forgive, I don't mean go, it's all right, do you know what, you beat me up. No worries. Do you know what, yeah, you run me over with a car. Cracking. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we accept behaviour. But until we can take responsibility for everything that's happened to us in our lives, we can't heal from it. It's probably one of the hardest things I had to hear, because I was treated pretty badly. I've been through, I've been very, very vulnerable. So I've been through rape. I've been through abuse under the hands of doctors. Emotional and physical abuse when I was in a clinic. So, going back and looking at those people and going, do you know what? I forgive that moment in time. I forgive everything that happened there. I'm not saying that what they did was okay, but they, the worst thing about holding on to when someone has treated you badly is they're over it. And if they're not, that's up to them. They might feel guilt. They might not. Who knows? But all you're doing by feeling anger and resentment is hoping that by taking poison, you're going to kill them. And you're not. So hatred, resentment, anger, holding on to this, how dare you do that to me? And how dare they? Absolutely. But they did. So what are you going to do about it? And it sounds really, really like nonchalant, but I'm coming from a place, I've been in horrible situations. I had a husband who was horrible to me and yet so nice to me and made me think it was all my fault. I had somebody being so mean to my own child, and yet I had to forgive myself for not leaving sooner. So, you know, I promise you, I have been in dark places, and the only, when people don't understand when I say that my husband only a year ago was there camped outside my front door terrifying me and my children, and yet today I'm okay with him coming because I've forgiven that moment, and because you know what, I will not let that power be taken away from me. And I used to literally, I was shaking. So this time last year I'd be shaking. Every time I saw him I'd shake. Okay, so I had to think, do I want to feel like this? Because I've got no choice here. I have to see him for the sake of my children. Do I want my children to think that you can't let go? Because in order, one of my coaches said, and it's so cheesy, but in order to grow, you've got to let go. Something has to go. If you want to improve, if any part of you wants to get over stuff, so the next day you can achieve more, something has to go. You have to, because if you don't, nothing will change. You might go, oh, I'm going to have a nice day today. Great, yeah, cool. But nothing fundamentally will change unless you let some shit go. And that's kind of, I suppose I'm not massively great at sugarcoating stuff. And I'm not massively good at, fluffing stuff up. Because this is easy. The stuff I've written, I've written it all down, what I need to tell you on one page. The steps are easy, doing them not so much. But it doesn't have to be as hard, and it isn't about talking it all out. It is about understanding what action you can take in order to get what you want. So acceptance and forgiveness. When you go back to our stories, and it's something I'm going to do like a tapping thing on it as well. But we tap through, we start, okay, so when you feel something, we tune into that. If I did it now, it would just take so long and take away from this, but I will be doing a tapping thing as well. Just so you know. So when we get our stories, when stories come up, just write them down. You might not need to tap it. You might just think, when I feel that way about food, so you've got that, what stories come up, write them down. And without going into them, some of them you need to go into and really do some work on. Some of them you just think, Jesus, what have I made that mean? Write down all your stories, write down about one specific thing. And when you write your stories down, you'll find a link. You'll think, crikey, what you said, what did I make it mean? I'll never be hungry again. Crikey, that's huge. Yeah, so if you've made that decision about that, you need to go, okay, so I'll never be hungry. Wow, okay, so I need to forgive that moment that did that. Jules, oh, you're here, Jules. Hi, Jules. We've started a little while ago. Zoom is playing up. Everything's a bit crazy, and it's not letting anyone know I'm live on Facebook. So, woohoo! So the fact that anyone's here is possibly a miracle. So you can go back to the beginning, Jules, if you want, and let us know. You can carry on now. I've explained who I am, what we're doing here, but you can always catch up at the beginning. So, really quickly have an intention about what you'd like to get from this, or join us tonight. That's fine too. So the stories so our stories, once you write down your stories, you do see a belief you've made, and that is the belief that's not serving you. So you've made the belief, okay, so I made the belief that I can't be a size 10 and happy. Every time it's like, I'm miserable. Well, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Once you realise what the belief, you think, well, come on. Like, seriously? And weirdly, I lost all the weight and still got divorced. And so it's actually it did pan out like that. I did lose the weight. So I could have then blamed that again. Oh, I know. So what happened is it was purely, I lost weight because I was happy because I got rid of that stuff. And by me getting happy, I changed the belief again. Another belief I had to change was, I'm never going to be enough. Now, I married my husband who his belief is, nothing's ever good enough for me. So we were great. We carried, I'm never enough. Nothing's good enough for him. I'm never going to be enough. Nothing. We were fine, swimming along, me miserable, him demanding, all great. So when I was like, well, I'm enough now, he's like, oh, that doesn't, no, nothing's enough. Well, I am. oh, that doesn't. So you can see how all of a sudden, our beliefs didn't match. So he was like, well, no, you're not enough. So I know, I'll do something else. Yeah, I need more. And so literally he turned overnight, nearly, he kind of turned towards liking something I could never be. All of a sudden, I want that now. So you can't be that. So yeah, you aren't enough. Well, yeah, I can't be a man. Let's put it out there briefly, just very briefly, I'll put that out there. So I couldn't he made it impossible for me to be enough for him. Oh, absolutely impossible. Literally, I could not change that much. So, you know, people will follow their beliefs. Hi, Lynn, your story mirrors mine. You tend to, yeah, okay. But what's lovely now, I mean, now I have got so much strength that I can see him. He will try the same old stuff with me. It just doesn't really affect me anymore. And because he can't vent with anyone else, he's gone into free fall because he doesn't know who to have a go at. So he's now got a young friend who's living with him, and he's probably taking it out on that person there, but he can't kind of affect me. And it's not like, yeah, screw you, motherfucker. It's not that at all. It's I've genuinely got control over me. And that's the next thing, is control. Now, control is key to everything. And that doesn't mean controlling the world, as some people might feel. I'm going to control everything I can in my power, and therefore nothing will go wrong. Well, that's a load of crap, because you can't control anyone. And as soon as we understand that relinquishing control is the key here, completely letting go of control, because the only thing you have got control over is you. I do bang on about it quite a lot, that we cannot control anyone, not our children, not our husbands, not the way that our roses grow or anything. Just saying. I can't make the mint come back to life. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I can do everything I can. I can water it and I can sing to it and I can ask the children to talk nicely to the mint. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come back. But it did, actually. But, you know, it doesn't mean it will. But I'm sure it's the singing. So anyway, control is another key. Everything, like even worry, control is just, can you do anything about it now? Is that even a thing? Is it something you can ever do anything about? So, you know, really, so, oh my goodness, I'm so worried that I'm going to get fired tomorrow. Okay, I hear you. Is there anything you can do about it? Could you write a suck up email to your boss? Would that, I don't know, either do something about it or don't. But, you know, worrying and trying to freak out about it. And so you either control a situation or you don't control it. And if you don't control it, then you can't worry about it. And that sounds like the simplest thing in the world. You're talking from an overthinker here, who'd be up at 3 a.m. pretty much every day having to journal the crap out of what was going in my head. Forgiving and relieving and, oh my God, I'll do it tomorrow. Do you know what? I don't even do that. I've not even done that. I've not done that for years. Even though I've gone through all the COVID thing, the breakup thing, I just don't have that anymore, because I've realised my brain now thinks, well, it automatically, I've rewired it to say, well, if it's not mine, then I can't do anything about it. And if I can't do anything, I either do it or I don't. So if I'm worried about the hob being on, I'll go and check. But I can't worry about somebody breaking in. I've done everything I can. So I can either worry about, oh my goodness, I've left a window open, or I go and shut the window, or I think, well, what will be, will be. I can't control any of this. So once we work it through, and a lot of people, again, they have these negative thoughts. Oh, I need to think positively to be a happy person. I need to be positive. Well, that's a load of crap as well. Yeah, okay. So I made mention of it before. It's like, okay, so you're going to try and make yourself be happy, even if you're not and you're worried. No, you need to scoop that crap out as well. So I love positive affirmations. I do. I love them, I love them, I love them. But, you know, like wallpaper on a mouldy wall, it's just going to get mouldy. And then you got more, because then you have the guilt of not being happy. And you've got like, oh, I should be happy. Nothing's wrong. I'm not dying of hunger in Somalia. No, but neither are most people in the world. They're still unhappy. So it's a case of being really, if you're there worrying and freaking out about something that isn't within your control, it's a case of working it through. Okay, so what if somebody did break in? Yeah, let's do that. Let's worry about in the middle of the night, someone is hiding in your wardrobe, because I used to have this exact worry. Someone's hiding in, they must have got in the day through a crack in the window, hiding under my bed. I watched too many serial killer things. Oh my goodness, we're all going to die. Right, okay, so what do you do about it? Go and check under the bed. I mean, do something. You can either worry about it or you can take action. And then once you do that enough, you think, well, yeah, okay, no one's here, okay? And then you can figure out, well, why do I think that? What has happened to me to be so scared? Because needing to be in control, if you think about a drowning person, all they're going to do is grab to whatever. Now they're grabbing fruitlessly onto stuff that isn't theirs. Grab. Panic. You'll grab onto anything. And you'll see this when people are losing control. So, when I've been in friendships and relationships where even my dad was like this, when you say you don't have that, I'm not giving you that, I'm not even responding to you, they will do anything. They'll try every button, they'll push everything at you. Your kids do it as well. When you're like, yeah, okay, you want to jump off that? Cool, all right. Just so you know, here's the hospital number. I'm not taking you. Take control. Give them back responsibility, man, and say, it's not mine. You will see people try to make you react. But when you have learned to get utter control of you and think, do you know what? I don't want to react to you. When someone's mean to you, you go, okay, wow, that's your shit. That really isn't mine. Other people's behaviour at the end of the day is all theirs. 100% theirs. Your behaviour, though, is all yours. So being judgmental isn't awfully helpful. I would say when people have been judgmental to me, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And they go, what is it? Well, gosh, you've totally got parenting licked. You're obviously the best human in the world. And yeah, you know it all. So, oh my gosh, that must be amazing. Congratulations. And they look at me, and I genuinely, like, if you can be that judgmental towards, that's amazing. Like, kudos, you've got it nailed. Oh my goodness, how'd you get there? And they look at me like I'm mental. I'm like, well, why on earth would you ever want to judge me when you haven't got it nailed? Otherwise, that's just a bit silly, isn't it? Like, seriously, you know better things to do with your time than worry about what I'm doing. And again, talking from a very I was a very judgmental person. So I'd look at a girl in a fast car going, oh, bet she's married a rich man. Not, she's probably done it herself. You just think, I was judgmental. And then I thought, oh my goodness, what? Yes, I'm talking like 20 years ago when I was in sales. I was just so, you just think, oh, how do they get that? I want that. And wanting what everyone else has got, needing something else all the time. You totally don't see what you've got. I mean, that's a bit different again. That's gratitude and stuff, but I don't want to go there because that is important. But it's control is what I feel completely gets us away from having feeling at the beck and call of a toxic relationship, which is what this is about. So how to do it? There's loads of ways in order to do it, but not giving your control away, because no one can take anything from you. You give it away freely. So if somebody pushes your buttons, Leanne will probably say to you, yes, I was incredibly fiery. I still am pretty fiery. But I would blame that for me being pretty bit of an asshole, it would say. So I would fire up and react badly, but that's the thing, I would react. So someone would push my button and say, oh, you're just, yeah, haha, yes, I know, yes, haha, Leanne. So I could easily get triggered. I'd be triggered at anything. So I was very blessed to marry somebody who could trigger me every day. So I had loads of opportunities to work on myself and heal from it all. So I do feel really grateful. I genuinely am really grateful for the opportunity of marrying somebody who, my goodness, if I hadn't been triggered like that, I would never have gone on this journey, which has been years of just wow. So I am grateful to my marriage as well. And I accept him for where he is. So acceptance, forgiveness, God. So I accept him for exactly where he is. He doesn't want to grow, and that's cool. That's fine. I accept that 100%, but it's nothing to do with me. His circus, his problem, it's his rodeo, and that's fine. Even, okay, so if you get angry at your husband or partner, is it yours? It really is. Every time they trigger you, you go, whew, okay. What does that say in me? What is that in me? What am I doing? Why am I doing that? Why do I want to react? So I'm just going to pause a second and not react. Because the most powerful thing to say is absolutely nothing. Or wow. Or just wow. That's really powerful. Just wow. You're not saying wow, what a dick. You're saying wow. What? Yeah, you're not actually, then you're not passing judgment. You're just going, whoa, that just hit me. End of. But why has it affected you? What has happened to you for that to be a thing? How could, nobody can make you feel anything. Nobody can make you think anything. So if you are thinking or feeling something because of someone else, you've given your control away to them. You've given yourself away to that moment. So take it back. So someone can say, wow, you're going out looking like that? You might want to go, why do I not look pretty? And I just go, yeah. Now, but I would go, oh no, why do I look? And it was nothing to do with anything. It was to see the effect it could have. People want to know they can affect you. So go, yeah, don't I look great? And they go, oh, yeah, sure. People want to know where their line is. They need to know, and it's not just children, it's humans, because most of us haven't grown up because we're still traumatized from our childhood. So not in a bad way, but in a way. So I'm trying to give lots of different examples of how we can regain our control. Children, no, I'm not going to bed. Okay, cool. I'm going to make the decision that's fine, don't go to bed. Okay, you need to be in your bedroom, and I will make that happen. I'm allowed to pick you up because I'm your mum. So I'm going to pick you up and pop you in your bedroom. I'm not going to have a discussion about it. This is not what I say to them. I say, I'm not going to bed. Okay, great. Don't. See how you feel in the morning. That's fine. I'm not, that isn't the first port of call, but if you get into this arguing about, I don't want to eat, don't then. I don't want anything. Okay. Fine. Don't eat. I'm never going to make you eat. Do you know what? You're a human being. I'm never going to make you do anything because you've got control. So, okay, don't then. And when they're in a different position, when they're not in this angry position, there's this anger between kids and parents. When you're not in that position, you can have a frank chat about, do what you want to do. I'm not here to control you. I'm here to guide you. If you don't want to eat, don't eat. Fair enough. Yeah, you stay awake complaining. Yeah, stay awake, man. Seriously? I have seen my kids fell asleep, I think, once on the floor because they woke up with like Lego on their face. It hurts. And it's not a case of, it's like then you're teaching them something really valuable. You are there to protect them. You are not there to tell them how to live. And, I'm there to keep my kids safe. But when I see people like, stop that, don't do that, eat that, you're like, when do they ever get to make a choice? And what we're doing is making them think, well, if I can't get control of this, I know I'll get control of what I can get control of. Now, everybody wants control of themselves, so let people have it. Let them have control of themselves, but you must realise that I hear all the time, they make me so sad. Well, then don't let them make you sad. No one has the power for that. You give people away your power when you let them make you sad. They made me do it. No, they didn't. Nobody makes you. It feels like someone's making you. They make me sad. That makes me angry. I had no choice but to hit them. Well, you do. So, so although we're saying you can't control anybody else, that does come with the other, you have control of yourself, and the only person who can control you. And not only your actions, if you have control of your actions, but your reactions. So you don't want to react to something, don't. If someone says, oh, they made me answer them quickly. No, they didn't. And then, and it feels a bit like, a lot of people push back on this, I'll be honest. I'm going to get some people just going, oh, I'm not listening to this anymore. People do push back, but control, once you see the power of your own, like you are totally in control of you, it is the most freeing thing in the world. Like, I don't have to be angry. The world is doing some crazy shit at the moment. I'm not angry at anyone. I only have love, and I see people in a very similar position to me. So I have my own beliefs. I don't shout about it because it doesn't matter what I think and believe, but I don't agree with some things, but I don't feel the need to tell everybody what to do because it's their bodies, their lives, whatever. And I walk into a shop, I don't put a mask on, I can't put a mask on, I don't want to put a mask on, I'm not going to put a mask on my face because I genuinely makes me feel like I'm going to suffocate. But no one ever challenges me because I have a massive smile. I have love literally oozing. I don't go there thinking, right, I'll give him a fight. I don't do that. I just have love everywhere. I fill up on love, put it in there. And I literally ooze it everywhere. Not in like a weird, icky way, but in a love way. But that took a lot of, when I saw everybody getting scared, fear is a huge factor in this. Fear is what makes people want to control you. But they're in fear. Now, fear has a vibration somewhere down here. If we're looking at vibrations, we want a high vibration. So fear is about down at your feet. Yeah? Love is up here. And it has 20 times more reach than fear. Yeah? So you have a lot more power in love than you do in fear. And fear is what makes people angry and what makes people lash out. But if you're coming from love, it can't even touch you, because it just hasn't got the same reach and it hasn't got the same vibration. And so everything you do to fill up it with love, literally fill up your bucket with it. So even if whatever you need to do, whether that's, do Pilates, look at the roses, give yourself that time, be kind to yourself. Because the only way you can really stop resentment, stop wanting to control the people, get rid of your own fear, is to indulge yourself. Right? And I don't know what that means. Some people, I don't know, it's really weird when I speak to men and when I speak to women, it's very, very different. Because a lot of women feel harassed. I used to do this all the time, as Leanne will probably tell you. Everything's on me. You're like, oh my, that's pretty much how I'd go around. Poor old me. The world is hard, and it can be really hard. I'm not denying that. Like, I'm a single mom. All my family live away from me. I do everything myself. You see, like, it's all on me. It's all on me. Oh my God, I have utter choice. And nothing's going to stop me. Nothing can stop me. It is all on me, and I can either choose to make that my prison, or I can choose to make that my freedom. It's all about choice, and how we want to think is our choice. So the more thoughts, if you've ever read The Secret or anything like that, The Secret's great. It tells you have to manifest. It doesn't always tell you that you need to do stuff. It doesn't always, depending on how you read it, again, will depend on how you've taken it. But thoughts do become things, and the more negative thoughts you have in your head, the more negative thoughts you will have in your head. Okay, so that's why whenever you have a negative thought, blocking it out, it isn't great, but we need to flip it. So if it's something you can't stop thinking, then you need more help with that, and that's totally cool. But if you can just think, well, actually, hang on, do I really want that thought? If you can actually delve into that thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what, my kids are really sad at school, or oh my gosh, I'm sure I left my friend yesterday being really sad. I feel really bad about that. Yeah, then either realise that they have a choice about their feelings, phone them up and say, do you know what? I feel like I didn't behave very well. I want to sort this out with you, or switch it. Because that leads me quite on to the next thing, which is our upper limit problem. Now, have any of you read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks? Right. What a great book. And it's kind of what I've been doing for years, but the way he says it is just so easy to understand. It's self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, the upper limit problem is what he calls it. And if you think of all the good stuff that can happen in life, write down for me, or type in for me what your vessel is. Right? Imagine you've got a vessel of all the good stuff. Tell me what it is. I'd really like to know. As in, if you could have a cup, is it a cup full? So how much abundance and good stuff can you have? If you can picture your thing, what's the first thing that when I say vessel for goodness and abundance, what's the first thing that comes into your head? A vessel, as in a cup or a bowl or a bucket, or what would you, when you imagine good stuff coming in to you, I want you to try and imagine an actual physical thing that's coming in to. Is it coming into a bucket, a cup, a bowl? What is it? Have you got it there? A basket. Cool. All right. Okay. A basket's good. Mine used to be a. What's yours? Whoever's watching there, if you could type in what your vessel is. And the reason it's important is that when we fill up on love and good stuff and happiness and stuff, when that vessel gets bigger and full, something has to leave, right? So we often find that, life's going really well. Oh, do you know what? I've kept on this detox diet or whatever. I'm really loving how I feel about my body. I'm really loving all of this. I'm loving how much love is in my life. Something will go wrong. Do you ever find that when everything's going right, something fucks up? Something happens and it brings you, it keeps you down at heel. Now, if you would, being my vessel used to be, and I didn't even know this until somebody asked me the question, it used to be a watering can. But it had like a hole in it, like, there's a hole in my bucket, but it would have like a leaky hole, but a rusty one. So really drips would be coming out. So I'd fill it up and drips would come out of it. But it was a bit of a battered old thing, in all honesty. No one had kind of cared for it, and I hadn't cared for it. So, and baskets are great, but if you think what baskets are, they're just full of holes. Right? Yeah, they're full of holes. So you might be filling up with love, but is some of it getting out? Are you actually able to contain that? And so it's almost like we need to make our container huge. I've now got a football stadium. That's what I'd say my container is now, with a massive opening at the front. So not one of these foots that nothing can get in, So not lots of turns, literally a football stadium that if it rained, it would fill up. And it wouldn't fill up because it would just keep on. And if it does, we've got a secondary, like Wimbledon, we have court number 1 as well. So all is well. But when we allow ourselves to fill up so much with all the good stuff, without some things coming out. So really simply, so I know, for instance, when I've been eating because some foods just don't agree with me. Anything with dairy just doesn't agree with me. So I eat it, I blow out, and I feel like crap. So shock horror, the one thing that I do when I'm feeling really good about my body, I go and eat a chocolate bar. But I don't need more, but it would be my go-to would be, I know, I feel really great. Oh no, I don't do this. I don't feel great about my body. I don't love right, I know. I'll just stop that then, because that doesn't feel comfortable for me. So good stuff doesn't always feel comfortable. So we have to really feel the good stuff for as long as possible and then get comfortable with feeling all the good stuff. Does that make sense? Because it can be really, really unnerving. If you've never been in love before, truly, unconditionally in love, and honestly, I don't think I have. I don't think I have felt what I want to feel truly now, and in all honesty, because I've been in bad situations when I've been in relationships. I haven't been in the best accepting vibe before. So I've only attracted in what the vibes I've been putting out. So of the higher vibration you are, the less people are up there. So the kind of the air becomes it becomes a bit less likely you're going to meet somebody up there. So what happens is when people are really like raising themselves up, I could go into song, I won't, raise them up, and you're in that vibration, sometimes actually no one's up here, no one's up this vibration. There are people, but there's less. I know if I just dip slightly into a more amenable vibration, I'll meet more people. So often, however much work people have done, because they then aren't attracting for whatever reason, who they want, they kind of lower their expectations, lower their vibration, and then they're always out of sync with themselves. But they're doing so. It's the same as, oh, I know, I've never felt this good in my body. I've never had that 6-pack. Oh, I know, I'll do something to stop. I'm going to stop exercising, or I've got a bad back all of a sudden. We stop ourselves feeling that much goodness, and it's our subconscious that's doing it, because it doesn't know how to cope with this much abundance and goodness. So I had a lady who got a new job, everything was great. She'd never had problems with her husband before. I mean, they're literally like the most gorgeous couple ever. Got a new job, she really wanted all this. It's a new job, less hours, more money. God, what could be better? All of a sudden her husband's a knob. Well, he's not, is he? But you're now creating problems around him. He never does anything. Well, but he's been like that forever. He's been like that for 25 years. He's been like that. You've always, yeah, well, I think now, yeah, he just doesn't get me. I'm like, okay, yeah, absolutely valid, but are you causing that because you can't have all this good stuff? You're getting on, your children doing great, you love your job, you love your life, you've got your perfect house. There has to be something wrong. And that isn't that person being miserable. That is that their brain has not got the capacity, and their subconscious hasn't got the capacity for all this goodness. So you have to be prepared to accept that life can be fantastic. And do you know, as nuts as it would sound, a lot of people aren't prepared for that. They're not prepared for nothing to go wrong. They're not prepared to live in this wonderful feeling all of the time. So, whereas I talk about narcissism, eating disorders, all things like that, sometimes, the person who is your biggest enemy is going to be you. Are you the one who is stopping yourself enjoying the relationship you're in? Because as much as it might be you've attracted the wrong person, maybe you attracted the right person, but you're not allowing it to be, because that just doesn't feel right. If you have done so, especially people who've done a lot of work, they've done a lot of inner work on themselves, they then almost don't know how to be that person in a relationship that's happy, so they make it so difficult they can't appreciate it. So it's like every level you do the inner stuff. They say new level, new devil, right? But it isn't. I would say it's not that. I think every new level, every way you kind of lift your soul up, the vibration, you make your vessel for abundance bigger. You create more space. You go up that vibration. The same stuff is up there. You just have to clear more stuff out. So, what no one ever tells you, I'll tell you now, what no one ever tells you when you start on this road to enlightenment and to being happier, is there's always more work. So no one ever told me that. But I started when I was quite young. When I became a Reiki master very young, I was a Reiki, if you know Reiki at all, you go level 1, level 2, then a master. So you spend quite a long time at level 2. I came at level 2 when I was 13 because I needed to heal. And that's probably what saved my life, was the ability to tune into the universe and heal eventually. But I had to make the choice. I was blaming the world for everything, in all honesty. I was blaming the world for everything that ever happened to me. And like I say, the minute I got into control, the minute I realised it was mine, I controlled it and I made the choice to change it. That's the only time thing happened. That's it. And like I get scared all the time. I get scared. You know what? I've got my own business, okay, but my own business is purely based on this kind of thing that I do, and I help people. That's quite scary. What if nobody likes me? And I tap tap tap, even though everyone might hate me. But that's okay. Like the biggest thing, if you like reading really cool books, The Courage to be Disliked. It happened. I read that book when I've done a lot of work. I was in the relationship with my husband. We were living together and I was so sad and I didn't know how to make him love me. Right. That's what was going. How do I make him? He says he loves me. I believe he thinks he loves me, but how do I feel that love? Because I don't feel it. And ultimately, it was never there really. But I was asking all the wrong questions. I can't make him make me feel anything. I have to feel it in myself first. But I also have to be prepared to, that talks a lot about control. I have to be prepared not to be liked. It has to be okay that people don't like me, because the more authentic I am and the more real to myself I am, I'm going to piss people right off, right? And honestly, even very enlightened people don't like me, some of them. They either do or they don't. I recently got into being starseed and all that kind of stuff. Don't know if you know about starseeds. It's really cool. And someone said, oh my gosh. And then this other woman said, how dare you think, how, I was like, oh my goodness, wow, I did not, yeah, you come here, all that. I'm like, do I? I'm genuine. I laugh because I've always laughed under any kind of awkward situation. I just go, oh, wow, oh my God. So my boss would tell me off. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know what to say. You're really short. I never knew what to say under any argument. I just laugh because I don't know what else to do. And that's probably something I could tap on, but actually it's quite a good dispersive of negative energy. So I was like, oh my goodness, why are you laughing at me? I'm like, oh my God, I'm not laughing at you, but I find it a bit nuts that I genuinely am just talking about love and coming from different planets, and it's genuinely offended you, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, I can't quite comprehend how I could offend somebody. I'm so sorry. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm okay that I do, but I don't try and piss anyone off. Oh, people like you. I'm like, I don't even know what I've done. But anyway, and everyone's looking, and I'm there giggling. Someone's angry at me. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Wow. And I literally just start tapping. What are you doing that for? Have I offended you? I'm like, no, there's energy going on. I'm just tapping to get it out. You. If anybody knows, it was at a stand in the park. I'm like, okay, cool, never mind. Anyway, so it was a really weird, only went on for a minute, but a really weird situation. Anyway, so when you are authentically you are going to piss people off. You're not going to, and they're going to dislike you. And you know what? That's really great, because the more people that dislike you, the more people are going to be with you. Do you see what I mean? Are going to be truly on your vibration. And that's really amazing. When you actually find your tribe and your people and you're connecting on a level that doesn't need words almost, it's so cool. You're going to annoy some people. Not everyone likes that. And it's not nice to see when you're living in this different world, when people resent you and don't like you and stuff. So under the upper limit thing, what we tend to do, what you'll find yourself doing when you're upper limiting, or when you're in self-sabotage, or your limiting beliefs are really starting to come up, you'll start to criticize people. You'll start to blame people. And you will find that you can't do the things you want to do. So your ability, you'll start doubting your ability to have things as well. So that's when you probably reach the fullness of your cup. That's when the doubt and the blame, the criticizing, they're really great ways to empty out some of that goodness. They're like literally, okay, pour, that's it, we're pouring, right, that's it, we're fine, we're happy at now, we've not got too much abundance and happiness going on because we've just thrown some of it out by blaming everybody and criticizing. Why are you wearing that shirt? Do you realise you're walking funny? Why do you eat like that? Ugh, you snore. They're things we all do, but once we know that that's our thing, do you always get a cold? Do you get really tired? Like this morning, I was just I'm so tired. I wanted to be able to deliver this workshop, if you like. I've never done it online in this way. And I was so my upper limit this morning was not getting out of bed and feeling really tired, and decided to cook the kids I should be preparing. I'm there cooking them a massive breakfast. What am I doing? I've got other things that they don't even want pancakes. And I'm there in pyjamas, running out of time, looking like shit, cooking pancakes when I really should be doing something, So there you think, I know, rather than preparing and actually feeling good, I'm going to really sabotage myself, because if this goes well, this could mean that I help people, and that's terror, or I could really damage people and ruin their lives. do you see, without even realising it, I'm there sabotaging my own success. Yeah? And I'm not meaning success as in everyone is going to like give me thousands of pounds just for showing up. I mean success in being a human and actually making a difference to people. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to give people the things that to help them ultimately. So rounding the three first things, whether it is about food. Okay, so if we go for food, we've all got stories on food, whether you find food an issue or not. Like we do it at least 3 times a day for our whole lives. There's going to be a time in your life when something has happened at a meal time, right? So almost, even if you've not got a problem with food, even if you just say, what stories have I got? Oh, finish your plate or the kids in Romania are going to die. There's always do you know, that will lead to something. If you ever want to just trigger yourself or think, what stuff have I got? Think about food. What does it mean not to finish a plate? What are your stories about food? If it's a food thing, okay. So I'm just going to briefly go through the main reasons people have come here for their partners or ex-partners, children, and food. So stories. You've all got stories around food. Find your stories. What do you always talk about? What is something that you just know to be true? As in, you've got to finish your plate. You'll eat it tomorrow. If you don't have it now, you'll have it for breakfast. Oh, look at me, aren't I clever finishing my plate? Oh, finish your plate and I'll give you a gold star. What are your stories about eating more than you need or rewarding for doing something for, like, you know, basically... Oh, you're so bloody fussy. What's wrong with you not eating that? Everyone likes pizza. Whatever it might be, you're going to have a story. When it comes to relationships, have you ever seen a good relationship? Do you know even what that looks like? A purely lovely relationship. Have you ever seen it in your life? Or is it only on movies? Is it that... What does an ideal, what is it you're looking to give you, you know, who's your role model for a really lovely marriage? Who do you looked at? And are they that great? If it's a Hollywood type of thing, is it actually a healthy one? Just putting it out there, or are you looking at something that is actually relatively unhealthy anyway to model it on? Is it a 1950s, thing? Although I did say to someone yesterday, I really need like a 1950s wife. No, it doesn't need anything sexually from it. We'll just clean up and cook dinner. I kind of need that in my life right now. But no, but it's your not that I want. No, you complete. I've probably said that all wrong. You know what I mean, don't you? I just want to. I'll shut up. Scratcher said that. When it comes to, you know, loving relationships, what are you modeling that? What are your stories about? Well, you can't have everything. You can't, you know, no one's everything. Oh, everyone argues sometimes. I don't know. What are your stories about relationships? So, oh yeah, no one's always got your back. I can't love you all the time. I don't know. What do you know to be true? And then I want you to just batter it. Is it true though? Really? And that might even be if you see this, oh well, you only get perfect relationships in the movies. Oh, you can't have everything. What people always told you that you become, that is part of what you believe to be true. And when it comes to kids, you know, again, if it's to do with your children, relationships with your children, is it, they can't be, I don't know, I haven't had any massively negative ones about kids, but what have people grown you, they always get in the way, having kids, they'll just ruin your life, you know, you've lost your freedom now, haven't you? I don't know, what is it by having the kids that has taught you? So whatever it is you're struggling, whatever relationships it's with, there'll be stories that have just been told to you. There's ones about money, whatever. I'm not getting into the money now, but that's a bit like food. And about your body, what have you always been told about yourself? One big thing is you can't have it all. That was my big belief until quite recently. You can't have it all. You can't have the body, you can't have the marriage, and you can't have the money, you can't have the wonderful, you can't have it all. Pick something. I'm like, Yes, I fucking can. Thank you very much. So, you know, what is it that you've just, what is it kind of just a soundtrack to back up your stories? First thing, acceptance and forgiveness. This can happen with food, with whatever. So whether it's been your, you know, accept that. So when it comes to food, it's a case of, you know, and your body and things, if it's an internal thing, going through the decisions you've made for yourself and the decisions about food, and really lean into the discomfort of that and accept the decisions you've made. Forgive your decisions. I don't know, it's hopopopopono, isn't it? Whatever you want to call it. But one of the most powerful things is when you find these things that you need to forgive and accept is actually, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry, and thank you. Because that, when you've got tough memories and tough moments, you think, do you know what, they just hurt. Actually, food has been mean to me. Food has made me fat. Food has made me sad. I have been, food has hurt me. Same as my relationships have hurt me. They have let me down. All these things, I want you to forgive, okay? So, one of the greatest mantras to forgive and accept and be okay with it is thank you, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. So no, I'm sorry, whichever way you want to say that. So I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Okay, to anything. Because that's taking ownership and forgiving all in the same one. And I will write that up on that later. Or if someone wants to do that for me, that'd be cool. But that does anything sticky. So if you want to say to chocolate, do you know what, you and me, we're going to need to break up, right? me and dairy, we're going to need to break up. But you know what, it hasn't always been bad. And it may sound nuts, but I went in and I literally just spoke to it, to dairy. Like, I know it sounds nuts, but you think, do you know, thank you, because for a long time it was, you know, whatever, I forgive you, I'm sorry, and I love you. And I loved it so much. But it's done. But you can do that with anything. People hurting you, you know, the same forgiveness mantra. And you might come up with your own. So I hate putting words into people's mouths. So you might just want to forgive it all. But to say I'm sorry, because you're kind of saying sorry to the moment as well. It's in the moment. You're saying sorry to moments in your life that have been less than great. If it's to do with kids, you know, we carry so much guilt when we've either not our own kids, even any child we think we've affected, because we do, you know, you do affect kids, and that's fine, and that's in a good way as well. So go back to those moments. I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you. It is really powerful. So you can accept and forgive everything that is bringing toxicity into your life. And now you need to get control of it. The action really is to understand what your limiting beliefs are, your upper limits with this. Are you doing this to yourself? Are you actually, is your relationship lovely, but you don't believe you deserve it? Is your relationship shit, and that's what you believe you deserve? Allowing someone to treat you badly? Because that's what we're looking at here. You know, people don't treat us badly and we're victims in our own lives here. We can take control. Now, it's not always immediate, because like I was living in the house with somebody, I can't control everything. So I can only control my bit of that. So it's not like, well, get out, leave everything behind, just run. It's not that simple. But you can control your part in that, and how much you're going to allow it to affect you. And take action to stop that keeping on happening, to stop the rot, if you like. And how much are you eating the food that does hurt you? How much of this is you saying, I can't be thin? Oh, none of my clothes would fit me if I lose all the weight. People would hate me if I was thinner. If I just ate fruit all day, people would think I'm weird. If I just went to have, you know, literally I was drinking smoothies a lot. I used to go, what are you doing that for, you weirdo? Whilst they were like miserable in their lives, had acne and crap skin and terrible hair. I'm like, what makes me feel better? Ugh. I'm like, seriously, like I've got great skin. I'm like, you know, and I'm not, but I make sure I do. Do you know what I mean? I do look after myself, and I make sure that I don't have things that are, and when I'm upper limiting myself, I have a chocolate bar. That's what happens. It's crap, and you know. So what will people think of me if that happens? I'm doing a workshop actually next week. It's how to stop giving a fuck what people think. Because it stops us doing so much. So what are you doing to stop yourself? And then really look at how much control you're taking of your own actions and how much control you're trying to take of others. Because, do you know, when I stopped trying to control what other people said to me, what other people thought of me, when I just said, gosh, other people's opinions of me are none of my business. When I really believed that, I was like, it's got nothing to do with me what they think of me. That really is all about their beliefs. What someone's opinion, right, is all about their beliefs. So they might have an opinion of me that I'm a right up my own arse knobhead. Cool. Then that's their stuff, isn't it? I can either believe that and think, well, I am that person, or I can go, well, that's their opinion because of their shit. I don't believe that. And if I did believe that about myself, then I don't want to be that person, but I'm not because of somebody else saying that about me. And also they might have said it in the moment that they've had a bad day. Or a lot of people, especially, I mean, I go into this a bit more but I've got this great 6-week kind of course, but human design, I now know I'm a manifester. A human design, that's my main trait, is manifester. And that really grinds people up the wrong way because everybody, because it really does, people struggle with manifestors because they come up with ideas and blah, 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 they're all action, and a lot of people can't cope with that. And so you can annoy people if they're having a bad day. Anyway, but take control. So figure out your story. Accept and forgive the stories you can. Figure out if you're doing it to yourself, okay? Because we can all have toxic relationships with food, with kids, with husbands, with wives, with friends, with parents, with sisters, with brothers, right? How much of that are we doing? How much of that is our stuff putting into that relationship, putting into that friendship? How much are we sabotaging our own friendship because of our own stuff? And then the control, how much are we letting other people have our control? How much control are we giving away and how much are we owning? And that is the start to not having issues anymore. I'm not saying it's the end, because this has been like an hour and a quarter. And that isn't the end. That is how we start to get toxicity out of our life. I am starting, it's brand new, so I'm really excited because I've been working on about 2 years, this amazing 6-week program, which is fully interactive, but as a group. So it isn't just me talking like this, it is a fully interactive group program, life by design. So you can to give you utter control over designing your own life, and it excites me so much. So I give you, I just so you know, my training is, I'm a Reiki a master, an EFT therapist, NLP practitioner, and a human design. You can't really be in anything. I've trained in it, but it's a weird certification because it doesn't really mean anything. Well, none of it does, like life coaching, and you can do all the coaching courses you like. You're not part of a body or anything, but EFT, Reiki, they are, I'm part of the professional bodies. So human design, so we actually figure out why you do what you do, and we go really deep into your stories. So anybody who signs up, the first thing we do is have a matrix session and figure out where the big stories are. And then we go into working out your stories, the messes, your design, what your limits are, and also what your enoughs, your intentions, all these things, but it's all about you. And then working with the group is really powerful because they come up with stuff that you never would. And you tend to, when a group program happens, I've always found that these people just connect on a crazy kind of quantum level. But anyway, that's one thing I do. And I'm also going to start a weekly tapping through toxicity, where everyone we just tap through. I haven't done any tapping today. I might do some tonight, but so we basically start working through as a group again, as a group. It's just a weekly group thing. It's nothing, we're not got an end to it. It's just, if you want to just do some tapping with other people about stuff that's going on for you, you can do demos with me. You can come on live and do in front of people. It's up to you, but I'm also doing that. So they're the two things that I'm starting up that I'm really excited about, and that's the only two things I'm going to do, because I'm really passionate and I only want a certain amount of people in the 6-week program. And it's not pre-recorded. There's nothing pre-recorded about it, because this is the first time I'm doing it. So I want utter interaction. So I'm really excited. But if you want to do that, let me know. And I'm not trying to sell that. That's just something I'm doing, and I'll let you know about it. But I wanted today for you to really see what power you've got to change all the stuff in your life. I'm not saying you've got all the tools to do it right now, but I think hopefully you feel like you've got some more of an idea. But you tell me. I'm going to unmute. If anybody got any questions, I'll unmute you because you're on Zoom. Have you got any questions? Any questions on the chat as well from Facebook? But you can speak freely, Lynn, because you're
Oh, okay. Thank you. No, you've given me lots to go on. I did know that I was doing it to myself. I've done a lot of inner work, and so I'm a coach and a healer myself.
Amazing.
But this is my nemesis. So we talk about peeling back the layers. I know this is at my core. But yeah, you've given me some really good things to work on around the relationship with food, which is actually my relationship with me.
Yeah. But would you not say, as a coach and a healer, that when it comes to any relationship, it all pretty much boils down to you?
100%. All comes back down to the self.
Yeah.
And like I said to you in the chat, my story mirrors yours a lot, and I realise now that my ex-husband was my biggest teacher. And what at the time I thought he was doing to me, I now know he was doing for me. And one day when we're little light beings somewhere, I will thank him very much, because and he'll be able to say, oh, I did a good job, didn't I? And I can say, yes, you really did, because it woke me up. It was that woke me up, which, I'm forever thankful for. And it was incredibly painful at the time, but so much growth and learning, and now able to pay it forward, which is incredible.
That's amazing,
and
isn't it?
Really, it's an honour, isn't it? It really is an honour to be able to do that.
It is, yeah. I suppose for a while I was not seeing it like that. I thought, well, everyone knows this.
Right, no.
They just don't.
No, they don't, no. So yeah, going back to today, it's some of the stuff I knew, but your delivery is yours. So I've taken something different from it, which again is interesting, and I've learned from it, and different perspective, blah blah blah. I like the upper limiting belief. That's really interesting. It's something I hadn't considered for myself.
No, it's I think it was something that I've always realised that I would stop myself, and I realised it in clients. And when I say, oh, hang on, you're limiting yourself there, and it was limiting beliefs. And then when I read this, the way that Gay Hendricks writes the Big Leap, it's just so easy to see it. Oh yeah, why? But it is quite hard to hear if you're not ready to hear it. I suppose one thing that people do or don't like about me is that I probably will just say it, and it's not always easy to hear, but
No, but I like that. I'm a Sagittarian, so I like the truth.
Right. I'm a Virgo,
but understanding limiting beliefs in your everyday reality is one thing, but understanding, which I feel like I've got that, but understanding that you're limiting your potential takes it to another level.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is something I'm going to reflect on.
Yeah.
And I know it comes back to core beliefs. And, you know, I may well contact you, Lucy, to discuss this past life thing,
yeah.
Because I do feel that there is a lot of stored trauma, both past life for myself, but also in terms of ancestors down the ancestral line. It's because huge. Just looking at, I don't know much past my grandmother, or my I know a little bit about my great grandmother, but the women in my line have all been incredibly strong, but had incredibly traumatic lives.
Right. Yeah. Would you say there's a big belief that in order to heal, you need to have had pain? There's a lot of people.
Not considered that.
It's just that I don't know why I said that. It just came up recently that, you know, oh well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you heard, and a lot of people, a lot of people, women, I would say, we've got quite a witch's wound. You've heard of you've heard of the witch's wound, yeah. I find that really comforting.
and one of the things, sorry to interject, one of the things I really recognise, having been through this journey thus far, is my mum, God bless her, she's been gone many, many years now, but she was such a survivor. And she really was a trooper at surviving. And when I reflect on my own journey, I was giving myself unconsciously massive pat on the back for being such a good survivor.
I know, it's nuts, isn't it? But it's not.
Rather than being a thriver.
Exactly.
You know?
But then we create our own story about that's what we do. You'll always do it the hard way. But because I'm a manifester, but I'm also my archetype is then a maverick. So you can imagine, right? So I'm a maverick ruler romantic. Really bizarre. I think that's quite. So yeah, plus a manifester. So you can imagine what it's like to be my parent. Right. So you'll always do it the hard way. Oh right, that's what I'll always do that. But so I did. I literally did follow those directions. Did it the hard way, and it's like, but the hardest thing for a manifestor and a maverick is to know that things can be. You can just do it the normal. You can just do it easy. You can take the easy way. It's fine. But so I did everything the hard way. Absolutely everything, because that's what it became natural. And you don't have to live like that. You're a survivor. Aren't you a trooper? No, I'm just really, you know, I want to be, do you know what? You're so chill and successful. That's what I want people, you know, you think, no, that's something to say. Like, so I've got Max now, so, you know, my kids, I think, you can have everything. And how we speak to them, so you can't have it all. I'm like, no, you can have it all. You just have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You can have anything you want. Max says, I'm going to be so rich. I'm like, awesome. I'm going to have everything I want. Okay, cool. But when he wants everything, he thinks, well, you need to get me everything. Well, do you know what? That's my choice. You can't make me do anything. You've got to be successful in your own right. Buy toys every day if you want. I don't mind. But when you're relying on me to buy them for you, you come into my domain. So it's very interesting when we start talking to other people. How do we talk to them? Do we know we've done the work but keep spouting the same old rules? You know, it's fascinating. But then
really interesting. Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, Lucy.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Lynn, and I'm going to keep the group open anyway, because more people are coming in, and hopefully I'm going to do workshops on different things every month anyway.
Fab.
Or more.
Fab.
Yeah, just so just to get just so we can do a bit of growing and sharing and caring and stuff. But and it was lovely to have you on. It was quite quiet this morning, so it's quite cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I won't be able to make this evening, but
no, that's cool.
You.
No, that's cool. But thank you so much, Lynn. And
all right, lots of love.
I will see you
later.
Thank you. Bye.
Speak soon. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. I hope to see you tonight at 8. Hope to be a bit different tonight. Okay, ciao.